Hey guys, my name is Peter. I'm 27 years old, living in Bulgaria. And one of the reasons why I made this video is because all my life I have made a great distinction between Bulgarians and the rest of the world. I have seen a lot of people's differences, cultural heritage, how they think, how they behave, how they react to different problems and situations. So I have a very strong opinion on what Bulgaria is and how it shapes people, how people evolve in the environment, harsh environment, which is here. And more specifically, I have observations on myself, how that made me as a person and how I have learned to face different challenges that I wouldn't have been able to experience otherwise. One of the biggest distinctions for me growing up as a child is that I live in a very small town, 100,000 people, right next on the coast of the Black Sea. Now, this town is extremely famous for people wearing Adidas tracksuits and going to the gym. Overall, though, they are pretty rough people. Like, you don't grow up in an environment full of political correctness. You don't experience gentleness in the way that you would experience in the US or the UK or somewhere else. People are brute, they're direct. They will tell you when you're walking funny, they will laugh at you, and you have two choices. One of the choice is to take that in, take it personally, and evolve, or laugh with them. Take it as a joke, as what it is meant to be, and learn how to communicate with those types of people. People here have had a very troublesome upbringing, not because of the families or the city that they live in, but just because of the political environment. Here, the political environment is pretty tough, and growing up, I realized that the government doesn't have my back. You don't get to receive benefits for studying. You do not, just cannot rely on the government to step in when shit hits the fan and take care of you. Actually, quite the contrary, you see the government as this entity that has a tendency to take your money and scam you. It's not a very reliable authority. I like to make a parallel with the Netherlands, where when people grow up, they know that they're being raised in one of the best environments possible. They know that the government has their back, they know that their universities are good, that the education system is made so they can learn as best as they can and become professionals. Here it's not like that, not at all. Here, me growing up, I have faced so many challenges. I have seen so many challenges in education. In fact, my high school class managed to fire 6 different teachers over the course of a few years because we do not tolerate incompetency. Whenever someone is incompetent and they present themselves to us, we see that weakness and we tend to abuse it in a way. We tend to attack the weak point, because this is how we've been treated. And it helps in a way to sense people and to step on your firm ground when the other side doesn't have what it takes for you to follow it. One of the things that I experienced as a kid was I was very cringe. Like, I was super cringe. I was walking funny. I was saying stupid shit. I did stupid shit. And a lot of my peers made fun of me. They bullied me. Some would say bullied. But, I never really took that as something bad. It was just how it was. And I learned to be self-aware. I learned to know my weaknesses, to understand how other people perceive me, and to shape myself as a human vastly better than what I would be if I was being babysat at a table and people were trying to take care of my feelings. Because you know, when young children have this tendency to abuse adults and to manipulate them, sometimes even more than adults can manipulate adults, actually. So it was a very interesting thing to understand where my position in society is and clearly observe how other people interact with each other. So there was a huge difference between my upbringing and an upbringing in someone, let's say, New York, or even the capital here in Sofia. What I have had to go through was going through numerous jobs. I never had like a really safe place that I knew was my calling, and I never had someone to show me the way that I could follow him into battle. This was kind of a path that I had to make for myself. There wasn't a lot of people that were role models. Sometimes even my parents weren't that great of role models. But when you grow up in such a harsh environment where everyone is rough and they have a lot of insecurities or incompleteness to their personality, you learn a lot. And this is what I want to talk about. What I learned growing up in a harsh environment where no one has your back, where the only thing that you can rely on is yourself, and how to become a person while still keeping your emotionality, while still being a kind human being, and how you can help others, teach them, guide them, be the leader that you always wanted to have. Now, in this everyday life, we have all of this information available to us. We have all these role models that are online that we see on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I'm saying Instagram and TikTok, even though it's not really like a role model, more than someone you aspire to be, but maybe isn't really someone you should become. People always have to find their own path and their own calling. It was super hard to find mine. I would say I'm still trying to find it. But the road that I have traveled is full of ups and downs, of many jobs, many different relationships, many different friend circles. And there wasn't a single person, but maybe my family, that I could rely on. Now, it's very intimidating to be faced with a lot of challenges and seemingly no way out aside from running away. A lot of my peers, when they graduated high school, they ran away to different countries to study abroad. They ran away to the UK, to the Netherlands, to Germany, so they can go to a prestige university, so they can be engulfed by a different culture that we do not have here. And a lot of them actually came back. They came back here because this is where their heart is. Some of them are still living abroad, obviously, and are developing themselves as professionals, which is absolutely good for them. Good for them. But I don't like to run away. I don't want to really live abroad because I feel as though other countries' challenges are not mine. Even if I go somewhere, I would not be really able to authentically relate to them. And this is something I have come to terms with. So I am right now living in Bulgaria and sending this message to you, to people all over the world, with hope that you will follow me on my journey and be here with me as I use this YouTube channel to vlog about my experiences, what I'm learning when growing as a person, and how you can, hopefully you can take something from me, and hopefully I can teach you guys something in that process. So yeah, growing up in Bulgaria, it's probably one of the toughest places to be in. Even though it's in the EU, it more feels like it's a strange mix between Russia and the EU. So yeah, thank you for watching and see you next time.